guys.
Why not? It's that one now.
It's that one.
Why you got 3 cameras in here then?
Because that one gets us too close.
Yeah, not good.
That one's a really bad picture.
Yeah, not good.
And this one gets us about the right size, and it's a good picture.
Okay, well look.
Look at that.
Look at that. Only the best for you guys.
So, how are you all? Thank you so much for... I keep looking at the wrong camera.
I know, because there's like 5. I feel like I've got to do that with my eyes, so just look at cameras like that.
So, thank you all for joining us on this live launch. It's... I can't believe I'm saying this. It's the first Craig Petty product to come out today.
That's... No, it can't be. Well,
Yeah.
he's only releasing one today.
Yeah, only releasing one product today is Mr. Petty.
Pick it up, will ya? Slacking, isn't it?
So-
I'll just quickly do an intro. Do you mind if I do that?
No, you do the intro.
You sure?
Yeah, go on, do it.
Alright, look guys. First of all, welcome along to an Alakazam live launch. This is where we do a live launch and we launch a brand new product to you guys. You guys can be the first ones to see this in the whole world. So at 7:15, we will drop the world premiere of the trailer. It will also then be live on the website for you guys to pick up if you want to pick it up. And this is in store in our UK and USA store. We'll talk about all the admin stuff later on. But comment below if you've got any questions about the effects, things like that. Obviously, there's no exposure of it, but if you've got any questions like how good is it, and you want us to answer it, we will obviously answer it with an honest answer. And if that was your question, the answer would be yes. Very good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and Craig is always very open. So we're going to speak to Craig now, and then we're going to drop the trailer at 15:15, and then we'll talk more about the products after that.
Just quickly, let us know if this is your first live launch or if you've been here before. Alright, you let us know. Okay?
Yeah, let us know in the chat.
Please, please.
So I can see there's a lot of people watching on YouTube and on Facebook. Anyway, let's introduce the man himself, Mr. Craig Petty.
Boom! Hello!
Hello, mate.
I'm excited.
How are you?
I'm excited. Well, I have to take exception at a couple of things. First of all, there will be exposure. This is me. I will be talking to people exactly about what's going on here. Sorry, Harry.
Yeah.
But secondly, I feel unloved. It's May. It's halfway through May, and this is my first Alakazam release. What's going on, boys?
I know. Well, to be fair, let's be honest. There was supposed to be 2 Petty releases at Blackpool. So
yeah, but you went the younger, more talented Drew Perry's got better hair, and Henry Ferris. You don't need me. You got the new generation now. They can handle things.
The thing is, I mean, all joking aside, we were discussing this earlier. How many effects have we got in the pipeline for?
We're working on 19. We're working on 19 separate things.
That's crazy.
And 5 have already been fully produced in terms of, another 5 on top of those 19. We've done tutorials and trailers for. We're just waiting for a schedule release. So
and
it's gonna be like a bus. You wait 5 months for me, and then I you know, a lot of me comes along at once.
Well, bearing in mind this particular product that's launching today, the Mirage deck project, this has been in stock, packed in its box for, I would say, almost a year, if not a year. It's been sitting in our warehouse. Purely because we only release 1 or 2 tricks a month. We don't release tricks every week. So you do have certain tricks that just sit there waiting for release. And I know our good friend Darren Bain will testify to that, because there's a trick he's been after which we've had in stock for, I think, 2+ years.
Longer than that. It was COVID, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been COVID, yeah.
So,
I heard a rumour, by the way,
years.
I've got to say hi to I've got to say hello to my best bud, Lloyd. Hello, buddy. It's an honour to have him here. He's normally just like playing with his sheep in Wales. The fact that he's on live launch is amazing. But I heard a rumour once, and I don't think you've ever talked about this on camera, so I'm gonna spill the beans. I heard a rumour once that you bought the rights to a trick, and then forgot that you bought the rights, saw it 10 years later, and you were like, oh, that's really good. Could I buy the rights to it? And the guy went, well, you did 10 years ago. Is that true?
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Once again, that happened in COVID. I was judging the J-Day Magician of the Year. One of the other judges said, "Oh, you know, can I show you something? Can I give you a call tomorrow, or Zoom or something?" So I said, "Yeah, You know, it was lockdown. We're all at home anyway. I've got nothing to do, so give me a call. It'll be great to speak to someone. He called me. He showed me this trick, and I said, yeah, love it, love it. I'll buy the rights to that. And he said, well, you already bought the rights. That was a trick called Thread of Life.
10 years ago.
Yeah, and that came out last year, last Halloween.
Yeah.
But
is that I like that one. Is that the one with the the tarot cards? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, with the letters on the back. And
yeah, that's good.
You know, the thing is, to be fair, even the collector, which came out a few years ago, that had letters on the back, and I thought that was the first time I've seen that. But obviously it weren't, so I bought the rights to Thread of Life.
Honestly.
That's hilarious.
But we are actually, we're getting stuff out a lot quicker now. Since COVID and lockdown, we've been able to produce stuff a lot quicker. The last couple of months have been a bit harder because I haven't been at home as much as I used to be doing the product development.
I rang him the other day, middle of work day, sitting there watching a new Amy Winehouse film in the cinema.
That was
sounds
Jenny
about right.
dragged me off to the
I
cinema.
rang him, really important, hello Dad, yeah, really important business thing. Eating sweet popcorn. Yeah, what's up then? Well, look, this is what it is, and he just said, sort it out yourself. So I said, fair enough.
Well, like my dad always used to say to me, Harry, why have a dog and bark yourself?
That's really good.
It's quite right. I've said to Harry before, I said, I spent the last 30 years building the ship, and all he's doing is sailing around the Caribbean on it. There he goes, having the time of his life.
Honestly.
Honestly. I just want to say as well, congratulations on Superimposed. What a trick.
Thank you. You know, I remember the first time I ever showed it to magicians was on an Alakazam Live. I don't know if you remember. I was down filming something or other, and you had me jump into the Tuesday Alakazam Live, and you said, have you got something I can perform? And I said, well, I've just come back from Penguin. I've just filmed this. I can do it if you want to. And we were like, yeah. And I remember, like, you had so many people messaging going, can we buy this now? Can we buy this now? Can we buy this now? It's a great trick. Yeah.
Lovely little effect. Lovely little effect.
Mm-hmm. And you guys will carry it because obviously you carry all the Penguin stuff, so you'll get it. Yeah. I've been telling everybody, because, you know, understandably, there's people in the UK that don't want to wait for shipping from Penguin. I totally get that. It can take a while to come, or you can pay a lot more money in shipping. I totally get that. But, you know, for people that don't know, all the Penguin stuff gets wholesale. Alakazam are a customer of Penguin, so they carry the whole Penguin range. So, like, anything that you've ever seen me do through Penguin, you'll be able to get from Alakazam, including Superimpose.
100%. And that means that we pay the import duties on the stuff, so you don't...
You know, making sure that parts of me are still relevant in the magic community every week on the podcast.
Dude, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a podcast. 50% of it is talking about you.
So, here's a question for you, Craig. How the heck do you find the time to release so much great products, not just Alakazam? And this is true. I don't think I know of anyone in my career in Magic that has released more stuff as regularly as you do, but that's so diverse. I mean, there was a few magicians in the past that seemed to release stuff on a weekly basis, but it was literally the same trick tweaked. But you are constantly coming up with great stuff in every genre of Magic, which I find pretty sort of unbelievable, because my mind will follow a path, and we all tend to create stuff that we do. So if you're big into cards, you tend to create card magic, coins, coin magic, but you don't. Your creations are so diverse. So where does the inspiration
come from?
There's
a couple of things to it. Yeah, there's a couple of things to it. I think, first of all, you have to remember that I gig more than most magicians. Like, I'm constantly going out and actually performing. You know, like most evenings, most days, I'm out doing gigs of one description or another. And I get bored doing the same thing. You know, you hear those close-up magicians that go, oh, you know, I've got the same 5 tricks and I've been doing them for 20 years. And that's great. Awesome. Good for you. I couldn't do that. I would just literally just go insane. So I'm always working on new material. So I've got an opportunity when I'm developing something to go out and work it in. And I've always said when you're creating magic, the way that you make it better is by putting it out there in the real world and finding out what works and what doesn't work. And I think that an advantage that any creator has that goes out and performs as well is they're going to be in a situation where they can actually try this stuff out and hone it and get it better in a much shorter period of time. Yeah. The second thing is, I've had to give you 3 reasons. That's the first. The second thing is, I'm very lucky in that I surround myself with amazing people. And what I mean by that is, I'm very lucky in that I have an office. I have staff. So because of that, a lot of my day-to-day stuff that I do within my business, I don't have to do. I don't have to jump on the sales desk because I've got a sales team. I don't have to jump on the admin desk because I've got an admin team. I don't have to do any of that. So a lot of my role within my company is kind of overseeing, a little bit like you, Pete. I don't see you in the shop very often these days. You kind of work on a different level in Alakazam, right? So it's the same thing with me. I have more time because I'm in a lucky position that I can delegate to people that are absolutely amazing. So that, people like Matt, for example, that's a second thing. And then the third thing is I just can't stop thinking about magic. And it's a standing joke. Sarah will see me at least twice a day. I'll just sit there and she'll be talking to me and I won't answer and she'll look at me and I'll just be staring off into space. And she'll be like, "You're creating a magic trick, aren't you?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm having an idea. And I'm not afraid to try. I'm not afraid to fail, I think is the most important thing. I've created a ton of stuff and I've took it out into the real world and it's died on its arse. And it's like, no, right, that's not going to work. And I think a lot of people are afraid to fail. They put this thing together and they work on it and work on it and work on it until it's perfect and then they put it out. Whilst for me, I'm like, right, okay, I've had an idea for an effect. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go and do it in this gig tonight. And I'm going to find out very quickly if it works or if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, fine, I'm back to the drawing board. And then I'm surrounded by some amazing people. People like Lloyd from Murphy's, people like you and Harry, people like, Sean and Mandy and Eric from Penguin, all these wonderful companies that I work with. What it allows me to do, being friends with all of those people, is if I have an idea, I can say, "Hey, look at this. Tell me what you think. What do you think of this? Is this something that would have legs if it wouldn't have legs?" So I think that's generally, I think the thing is, I'm not afraid to go out there and try stuff, and I just think about magic constantly, and I get bored if I was just doing coin tricks. I love mentalism, I love card magic, I love stage magic, I love everything. I love every aspect of magic, other than the 21 card trick. That freaking sucks. But other than that, I love pretty much everything.
Well, I will say I can attest to that, because even when you're down filming with us for a project, there'll be times where we have a break to have a cup of tea or go in the shop, and you'll just be there and you'll be staring at something and you'll go, "Oh, I've just had this really good idea." And you're creating stuff even when you're filming for other things, which is which always impressed me. Right, we're at trailer time.
We are indeed.
Good, because Lloyd's about to blow his load, I think, so we need to...
So
everyone is excited to see the trailer. So, look, everyone on there, look, 7:15, trailer time. Trailer time.
I'm excited to see the trailer. I haven't even seen it yet.
Tell Lewis, right, get him on here now. This is my friend Lewis, right?
Yeah.
We play Call of Duty sometimes, and I'm going to be on Call of Duty tonight, but Lewis, this is work time, alright? So I've got to have my professional face on now, alright? No Call of Duty talk. This is real, serious, professional talk now.
Serious business.
So get that off there now.
So someone's already realised that we've already put it live on the site.
Yes.
And Darren's already ordered it. So
I think that's the first history of Alakazam, Darren, that you've ordered a trick before the trailer's even dropped.
Yeah.
I also do just want to say, we always try, when we release a product, actually test it in the quote-unquote real world, because there's so many times we've done something and we think, do you know what, it could just have that little bit extra in it, That's why sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get stuff out there, because it's always evolving. Obviously it gets to a point where, okay, it's as good as it can be for now, let's get it out. But we always add to it, additional routines later on, combining it with this and that. So yeah, that is why it sometimes takes a little bit longer to get stuff out, because we're trying to churn it, squeeze the most out of it. Yeah, but yeah, right, 100%. I'm not going to say no more.
Right. Craig, do you want to introduce the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for attending this Alakazam live launch, the very first Craig Petty Alakazam release of 2024. And live right here, right now, I am proud to present to you the complete and total package, the one and only Mirage deck project. Enjoy. Okay, let's have a look at the name on the other side. Lloyd.
Yes.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Good name. And right from the beginning, I put my business card there and I said there was a prediction on the other side. Yeah. Because I wrote something on the other side of this business card. I wrote a prediction. I wrote...
What?
Hey guys, my name's Craig Petty and welcome to the Mirage Project. Now, everybody who's been studying my work for the last couple of years knows that I love taking gaff decks that people have used for years and turning them on their head. Well, now I'm back with a brand new project, and this time I'm looking at the gaff deck that I think is probably the most underutilized gaff deck on the market, the Mirage deck. But if it was possible, then the 51st card in this deck, that he chose how many times I shuffled, would be the 5 of spades. Now, the Mirage deck is capable of absolute miracles. And the problem is, most people use it as just a forcing deck. And that's a massive problem because this deck is capable of so much more. I had a feeling about you, Bradley. On the way here to Canterbury, I had a funny feeling inside, and it was about you, and I had to write it down. Okay. All I had was a deck of cards on me, so I wrote it on the back of a deck of cards. Well, one particular card. We'll get back to that later on. Now, I love films. Do you guys watch films together? Yeah. Film buff? Fantastic. So what I want you to do is I want you to open up your phone, and I want you to go on to whatever you search with, Chrome, Safari, whatever it is. Yeah. And what I want you to do is I want you to type in a very specific search term. Okay. Top 25 films of all time. Could you open that IMDb link? Okay. And you'll see that there's a list of 25 films. I want you to go and look at that list and pick one. Don't tell me. Don't say anything.
Any film?
Any one. Any one of those 25. There's some older ones, there's some newer ones. Right. They change them around quite a lot.
I got one.
You got one? I don't want to know what it is. How popular is it? What position is it at? It's actually the 25th position. Okay, interesting. And is it one you've seen?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Love it.
And do you remember that I said right from the very beginning, I wrote on the back of one card as a prediction? I wrote on the back of the 6 of diamonds. Right from the very beginning. Now let me show you something here. I'm going to take the cards out and I'm going to find the 6 of diamonds. There it is. It's right there. I'm going to pop the 6 of diamonds right there. Now just to be clear, I want you to see, it's not like I've written on the back of every single card because I haven't. I took one card and I wrote on the back of one card and one card only, and that card is right there. And it's been there before you chose a film. You haven't said this film out loud. You haven't told anybody. It exists only in your imagination. I still don't want to know what it is. I just want you to freak out when you see that I wrote Inception on the back of it. And we're not just talking about simple tricks where you force a card and then reveal them. I'm talking full, well thought out, absolute mind-blowing miracles that you can plug straight into your closer pack and blow away audiences regardless of size. You're going to learn how to do my favorite version of any card at any number, where not only does someone name a card and a number, they even name a person's name. And when the card appears at that number, the name is printed on it. You're going to learn how to do the best version of Phil Plush you'll ever see. You're going to learn how to make the perfect prediction, how to do a slow motion sandwich. You're going to learn how to find 2 cards from a shuffled deck while blindfolded. On behalf of Alakazam Magic, my name's Craig Petty, and I am so excited to bring to you the Mirage Project.
It's amazing, and it's been a long time coming.
100%.
It really has. And I'm so glad that we finally got it out now, because what I said on that trailer, and I've not seen that trailer before. Good job, boys. What I said on that trailer is very true. Oh man, thank you, Lloyd. And by the way, there's a trick in there named after Lloyd. You saw the opening bit. There's a trick called Lloyd, and it's my version of Phil Plus, but it's like a 3-phase routine, and the end result is Lloyd's name. There you go. But I'm so glad we got this out because, like I said on that trailer, everybody uses the Mirage deck the same way as a forcing deck, and there's so much more you can do with it than just a forcing deck. Yes, it's a great forcing deck, but the problem is people buy it, they use it to... You know as well as me, on TV, if you see a magician have someone pick a card on Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or something like that, they're probably going to use a Mirage deck. You've been a consultant in the past, Pete. Lloyd's a consultant. If you wanted someone in the cleanest possible way on a Gap Talent, for example, to have someone pick a card and have it forced, you would use a Mirage deck.
Oh,
but that's where people... Yeah, because it works like that. It works as a Mirage deck perfectly. But there's so much more that you can do with this deck. There's so much more. And this is my favorite project that I've done. And I've done a few of them. I've done the Visible project on the Invisible deck. We did the Cheeky project on the Cheeky Cheek deck.
Stebbins.
We did the Beyond Stebbins on the Stebbins stack. We did, I've done Forecast on a Memorized deck. And out of this is the fifth one. This is the fifth project I've done. This is my favorite, because I think that the routines are so eclectic on here. They are so completely different. We have totally thought outside the box. As you saw on that trailer, the stuff that you can do on stage, the stuff that you can do close up, the stuff that's designed for walk around, it's all designed to instantly reset. And I think hopefully it's going to take people and they're going to finally be able to use the Mirage deck and do something different with it beyond just forcing a card.
I know for a fact that 9 out of 10 people are going to literally, after they get this, look at the instructions, go in their drawer, get out the Mirage deck they just used to force, and think, how the heck did I not know you could do all this other stuff with it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know how you actually come up with all the ideas, because it's very easy to, when you get given something, and get told it does this, to only think tunnel vision, it does that. Yet you somehow, I mean, we've got another project coming out of you with a gaff deck. You was fooling me with it. I knew what a gaff deck was because it's that project, and I didn't even know you could do that stuff with it. And it's like I've used one forever, you know. But what I love about this as well is that you can really make routines feel bigger as well. Like, you took this to Houdini's, done it like in front of people. We've done this the same time, sort of as Nightshade, I think, or Ticket to Ride.
Did.
Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, Ticket to Ride. And this just played so well to the whole room. It played so big. It got people involved. It didn't feel like card tricks a lot of the time. You know, even though they didn't feel necessarily like pick a card, this, that. You know, it felt so much more than that. It felt like the cards were just like in play, but not really the whole thing. You know,
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something I've not told anybody. I've been using the Mirage deck for years. I posted on my Facebook earlier that this is 20 years in the making, and it really is, because I've been using the Mirage deck for 20 years. And before we shot the performances and the tutorial for this, I wanted to make sure that every routine was perfect. So for 3 weeks, every close-up job I did for 3 weeks, and trust me, I do a lot of gigs, I forced myself that all I took, no props, no nothing. I just rocked up to every single gig with nothing more than the Mirage deck. That's it. And I just used the Mirage deck in Banquet. I used it in Parlor. I used it in Walk Around. I used it in Mix and Mingle. And I only used the Mirage deck. And you could literally, with the stuff that I go through on the tutorial, and I'm not just saying this, you could do a 30-minute Parlor show just with the Mirage deck and kill people.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So we've got Chris joining us as well.
Yes.
So let's pop over to
Legend.
Alakazam USA as well. Hi, Chris.
Yo, how's it going, guys?
All good. How are you in the Alakazam warehouse in California?
That's where I'm at, California.
It's good. You've got Mirage decks there, right?
Oh,
Boom.
I got like 12 stacks.
Love it. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm ready. When we did Evaporate, we underestimated how many people were going to order from the U.S. Like, we matched the U.K., which is unheard of. I think we even went past it. But
yeah,
Harry sent me extra. So we're not going to run out for a day or two. We got a bunch of them ready to go, and I'll be packing them all weekend, just like we did with Evaporate.
That's
Awesome.
fantastic. And we've also got a performance of yours, Chris, with the Mirage deck. So, shall we take a quick look at that, Craig and Chris, and then we'll come back?
Also,
I'd love
Chris,
to.
you're getting a lot of love in the chat as well.
Basically, the performance is what Craig teaches with a little tweak. It's on there. You can learn it.
Brilliant.
Sweet.
Okay, let's take a look at this, and then we'll be back with you guys.
If you were here, you would have me stop where you wanted, and let's say it's the King of Clubs. Completely free choice. I would take that king, bury it in the center like this, but then do the move, bringing it to the top. Next, what we would do is cut it to the table. You can see the king clearly right here. Put everything on top, square it up all nice and neatly, do the move, and now the king is back on top. At this point, you're probably thinking every single card is the King of Clubs, and you would be wrong. The only King of Clubs is this guy that's right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bury it in the center like this and give it a good old-fashioned grandma shuffle. And clearly, guys, as you can see, I'm not counting cards because I can hardly shuffle. I'm not tracking cards. I'm just losing this King of Clubs amongst all 51 other cards, not knowing anywhere where it's at. You probably don't believe me, so what we're going to do is use these two guys here. Roll them twice, add it up, and hopefully that king is at that number. So we have 7 here, plus 10. That's 17. So I'm going to count down 17 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 right here. If the dice would have rolled one less, it would have been the Jack of Spades, would have been the 5 if it was one more. The dice decided to roll 17, which is the King of Clubs. That is Mirage, and that right there is an amazing trick. Check it out now. It's awesome.
Such a great trick.
Yeah.
Such a great
Great
deck.
performance, Chris. Great performance.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, it's
It's killer.
really good.
You got it, Roger.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're
mate,
breaking up there,
breaking
Chris.
up
Say
a
that
bit.
again.
You teach how to do that on the project, basically, so you can learn it.
Yeah.
And there's no move. That's what I like about it. You can teach that to a beginner, and that's the God's honest truth if you wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
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 But
Well,
don't.
the video. There's a couple of live performances from the House of Secrets in Blackpool on the project, where you see me on stage in front of 30 or 40 people doing a absolutely impossible any card at any number to a massive, to a packed house at the House of Secrets, and getting incredible reactions. And that's the point about this. It's a great stage piece. It's a great close-up piece. And the routine that I mentioned on the trailer is insane. I was talking to Lloyd about this actually the other day when we filmed the podcast. There's a routine on there which is literally any card, any name, any number. So you have somebody name any number, no force, and then you get them to pick a card, and you get somebody else to name a name. And then when you deal down to that number, you put the card to one side, you look at the faces of all the other cards, they're all different, there's nothing written on any of the faces, and then when they turn over the card at the position, it's their card, and in big massive Sharpie across the face of the card is the name that the person thought of.
Yeah.
It's killer.
Yeah, it's
It's
great.
so good.
And you've got tons of different routines in there, like mixing movies with the cards, and there's so many great routines. The other good thing I want to say about this project is obviously this comes with a Mirage deck inside, so you get the Mirage deck and you get all the teaching. But the great thing about the Mirage deck is it's not an expensive deck. So once you buy this project and you learn the effects within, if you want to set up different decks, and that's what you did when we were at Houdini's, you literally done almost a whole evening
Yep.
of Mirage routines
Yeah. Yep.
with the decks, and they all felt different,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they were all big performance pieces. They all felt different. It didn't feel like you were using the same deck, the nice thing is you can go out, you can pick up yourself 4 Mirage decks, and it will cost you like, I don't know, whatever, 25 quid. Mark them up for different effects or sort them out for different effects. That way it's going to be a different card every time, and everything else is going to feel like a different effect. So
there's a slow motion sandwich routine on there, where the two jokers with big crosses on the back of them find a freely selected card twice, and once in slow motion they see the cards creeping towards the middle to find the selected card. I remember showing that to Andy Gladwin, and I showed it to Andy Gladwin, who's a very knowledgeable card guy, and he just turned around to me and he said, "You completely fooled me with that. I've got no idea how that works." Like Andy Gladwin, I mean, that says it all. But the other thing is, you talked about movies, that trick that you saw me do a kind of a full performance for on the trailer. It's important to note that you know, like when you get booked, Harry, you'll know this, when you get booked for a gig and they want you to adapt the theme for something, 100%. You want to do something with it. Like, it could be working on a trade show, or it could be whatever it may be, and you kind of think, well, how am I going to adapt this trick? What the hell am I going to do, right? That's my adaptation trick, because once you learn that movie thing, which is literally, there's no app, there's no shortcut to that. They go on their phone, they look at a list, they never tell you the movie. The prediction's there from the very beginning, and you've predicted it. It's the one card you've written on the back of. That is applicable to anything. I did a football event about 2 months ago, and I did it with footballers. I told them to go through the roster of footballers and literally just pick one of them, and the card that was predicted from the beginning had the name of the footballer on the back of it. You can adapt that routine. I use movies because I love movies, but you can adapt it to absolutely anything.
It's killer. And what I will say as well is that I just looked, a Mirage deck is £7.50. So when you want to replace it, or you want to have multiple routines, or you want to customise it to a specific gig, it's literally £7.50. And trust me, having a custom routine or magic trick specifically for that couple or that CEO or that company, to them is worth a whole lot more than £7.50.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, I'll create a custom magic trick for you, and if you want to add on an extra price, you can, or include it in your fee, and it's literally cost you $7.50. But for them, you've gone above and beyond. The recommendation they've got is wicked. Yeah. And the other thing as well is, carry around another deck of cards. I know some people are like, I don't want to carry a deck, I don't do this. This is literally a Swiss Army deck. Like, the routines you can do, it works close up, it works mix and mingle, it works parlour, it works stage. You have this deck of cards, one deck of cards, the size of a normal bicycle deck, covers you and ticks your box for all of those different environment or performance styles, or any scenario where you'll need to perform a trick. If you just learn a few routines from this that tick close up, that tick parlour, that tick stage, that one little deck of cards has got you covered for all of that. And that, to be fair, is hard to find. Yeah. Very hard to find.
Yeah. So and on that subject, very quickly, Pete, just very quickly, what Harry said is very true. And one of the questions I get asked on my channel over and over again is, how am I going to transition from a close-up magician to a stage magician? It's very, very scary the first time, you know, you've gone from performing to 2 or 3 people, 4 or 5 people at a time, to going on stage in front of 50, 60, 70 people. How you transition on stage, the best way to do it is by not buying a brand new stage act, but taking stuff that you do in close-up, that works in close-up, and then using that same material on stage. So you select the routines that play bigger. The thing with half of the routines on the Mirage Deck project is they work as well on stage as they do close-up, and you see me performing them on stage to 30 or 40 people. So because of that, if you have any aspirations of going on stage, you learn the routines that are on the project, you get comfortable doing them in a close-up environment. When you take that leap to going on stage, now you don't have to worry about the routine or the presentation of the routine or doing it for the first time, because it's something that you've already done over and over again in a close-up environment. It makes the transition a lot easier to navigate.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, brilliant.
100%.
So we've had a few people that have joined us a bit late, who would like to see the trailer again. So I'm going to drop the trailer again, and then I'll be back with you guys. So let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. This is the trailer for the Mirage Deck project.
Okay, let's have a look at the name on the other side. Lloyd.
Yes.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Good name.
And right from the beginning, I put my business card there and I said there was a prediction on the other side.
Yeah.
Because I wrote something on the other side of this business card. I wrote a prediction. I wrote,
What?
Hey guys, my name's Craig Petty and welcome to the Mirage Project. Now everybody who's been studying my work for the last couple of years knows that I love taking gaff decks that people have used for years and turning them on their head. Well now, I'm back with a brand new project, and this time I'm looking at the gaff deck that I think is probably the most underutilized gaff deck on the market, the Mirage deck. But if it was possible, then the 51st card in this deck, that you chose how many times I shuffled, would be the 5 of spades. Now the Mirage deck is capable of absolute miracles, and the problem is most people use it as just a forcing deck, and that's a massive problem because this deck is capable of so much more. I had a feeling about you, Bradley. On the way here to Canterbury, I had a funny feeling inside, and it was about you, and I had to write it down.
Okay.
All I had was a deck of cards on me, so I wrote it on the back of a deck of cards. Well, one particular card. We'll get back to that later on. Now, I love film. Do you guys watch films together?
Yeah.
Film buff? Fantastic. So what I want you to do is I want you to open up your phone, and I want you to go on to whatever you search with, Chrome, Safari, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And what I want you to do is I want you to type in a very specific search term.
Okay.
Top 25 films of all time. Could you open that IMDb link?
Okay.
And you'll see that there's a list of 25 films. I want you to go and look at that list and pick one. Don't tell me. Don't say anything.
Any film?
Any one. Any one of those 25. There's some older ones, there's some newer ones.
Right.
They change them around quite a lot.
I got one.
You got one? I don't want to know what it is. How popular is it? What position is it at? It's actually the 25th position. Okay, interesting. And is it one you've seen?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Love it.
And do you remember that I said right from the very beginning, I wrote on the back of one card as a prediction? I wrote on the back of the 6 of diamonds, right
Okay.
from the very beginning. Now let me show you something here. I'm going to take the cards out, and I'm going to find the 6 of diamonds. There it is. It's right there. I'm going to pop the 6 of diamonds right there. Now, just to be clear, I want you to see, it's not like I've written on the back of every single card, because I haven't.
Yep.
I took one card and I wrote on the back of one card and
Yep.
one card only,
Okay.
and that card is right there.
Yep.
And it's been there before you chose a film. You haven't said this film out loud. You haven't told anybody. It exists only in your imagination. I still don't want to know what it is. I just want you to freak out when you see that I wrote Inception on the back. And we're not just talking about simple tricks where you force a card and then reveal them. I'm talking full, well thought out, absolute mind-blowing miracles that you can plug straight into your close-up act and blow away audiences regardless of size. You're going to learn how to do my favorite version of any card at any number, where not only does someone name a card and a number, they even name a person's name. And when the card appears at that number, the name is printed on it. You're going to learn how to do the best version of Phil Plush you'll ever see. You're going to learn how to make the perfect prediction, how to do a slow motion sandwich. You're going to learn how to find 2 cards from a shuffled deck while blindfolded. On behalf of Alakazam Magic, my name's Craig Petty, and I am so excited to bring to you the Mirage Project.
So there it is, the Mirage Deck Project. There was a question that come in actually, and I know the answer to this, but I'll let you answer it, Craig, because no doubt you've probably done it. And it's from Jason Staples, and it says, Craig and gang, can it
Jason.
be personalised for a wedding?
Absolutely 100%. That routine that I told you about with movies, you can easily personalize it for a wedding. And there's a few different ways that I talk about doing that. You can do it specifically for the head table, or you can have different. It's perfect for sort of the wedding breakfast. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to get the bride and groom to pick their favorite wedding guest, which is a funny premise in its own right. You know, just asking a bride and groom as part of the performance, right, okay, you've invited a lot of people here today. Who's your favorite person here? Who's the favorite person? Is it going to be the father of the bride? Is it going to be, you know, it's a very funny premise, but then basically throughout the course of that routine, you're able to show, just like with the movie trick, how you predicted their favorite wedding guest right from the very beginning.
Nice. You've also, obviously, you got like the credit card stab, so you can have someone, the bride, pick a card, the groom find it. Loads of stuff. It's literally adaptable.
Yeah,
to
that slow motion sandwich routine that I was telling you about with the crosses on the back, that makes a great wedding trick as well, because you can say, what I want you to do is I want you to pick a card that's going to represent you to the groom.
Nice.
Pick a card that represents you. We're going to put you in the middle, and then we're going to use two jokers here with crosses on. That's going to represent you. And we're going to see, we're going to try and illustrate with these cards what's happened in life, what's happened today. We've come together because you two found each other, and these two cards, boom, we're going to symbolize that like that. But it didn't happen overnight, did it? It's not like you met her and then the next day you got married. No, there was a courting process. There were highs, there were lows. You had arguments. You remember it, don't you? So let's try and illustrate that, and you can easily
Nice.
kind of go there.
And also, you just explaining that, literally, you can tweak anything to fit any scenario, but really go in depth. Exactly what Craig literally just said there. Don't just go straight into a trick and go, okay, you've got this card, you're going to try and find his card. No, really add a story to it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you two met. You didn't just get married straight away, because people love that. I know it sounds obvious, but it's so true. Literally milk everything, because it just makes it that much more powerful. It's so important.
And Vinod said, I heard Craig saying there's 4 tricks on the project.
Oh, there's way more than 4.
It's over 4 hours.
I said
there's
4 hours. No, I said there's 4. I said I've worked on 4 gaff decks before this one. Vinod, there are a lot of tricks on this project. I don't know how long it is, but all I know is that when Pete rang me and said that he'd finished the tutorial, he was sobbing a little bit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably hours. How long
When
was it,
I
Pete? About
started
3 hours,
editing,
4 hours?
I had brown hair.
Yeah.
I say something about the tutorial. Let me say something about the tutorial. I might be cutting up, but having Roman there makes it really enjoyable to watch you guys going off each other.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know what a Mirage deck is. So he's asking those questions that you, as somebody who's seen it every day and, for 30 years or whatever, he's genuinely fooled and, doesn't know what's going on. And having him there makes the whole tutorial really fun. And then also, I like how you go over the flowing into one to the other instead of them being separate. They kind of you really go over all these little details of picking the deck up so you don't flash that king. In my performance, I didn't show the cards underneath the king because I forgot about that, but you teach how to do that, where I can flip those cards over and show all the cards. So, I mean, I left that out. That's my, but those little things just show how much you put into it and how much time you put into it. It was a fun project to watch. So
yeah,
that was really important for me. Thanks, Chris. That was really important that when I taught the material, I taught about how to actually transition from one routine into the other. So it's not a one-trick pony, but it can become an act where you can literally take one deck of cards and do 15, 20 minutes. That was important to me. And that shows you how long ago we filmed the tutorial, because that was filmed at the same time as Hard Stretch, which came out a year ago, and we filmed Hard Stretch a few months before it was actually come out. So this has been a long time in the making.
Yeah, it really has. And the other thing, and I know we said this at the beginning, the Mirage deck, it's been one of my favourite decks for many years, but like 100 other people, I did 1-2 things with it, and that's the thing that you're absolutely great at, and that is taking a standard deck that we buy 90% of people, or 99% of people, will buy a Mirage deck for one thing, and that is to force a card. That's it.
Yep.
That's what I'll buy it for, that's what I'll do with it, and it will be like a throwaway part of the trick. Whereas you really do break everything down and start to create stuff that, even though I love this deck and I've used it for years, you were doing stuff where I was going, how? What's happening with that deck? It's so clever.
I think the other thing that's important as well is you can tell you've used this deck for 20 years, whatever, because with a deck like this, and with a deck like a Svengali deck, or an Invisible deck, or this or that, the power comes when you know it inside and out. You handle the cards freely. You know you can show the faces here. You can spread here. Do this, do that. As soon as you are not comfortable with the deck, it doesn't bring attention to it. I'm not saying that, but when you really know the ins and outs, you know how it works. You know if spread this way, it does this. If you dribble like this, it does that. When you know every little nook and cranny of that deck, that's when it becomes like an elite tool, because you're so calm with it. It's just a pack of cards, you know, but that's how you can tell, especially with tutorials like Craig does. And we have got another one coming out, like I said, I mean, not for a while, obviously, but I was in on that film, and that's why I keep talking about it. And he was so free and fair with the cards that I forgot what the project was about, like, what Gaff deck, because he was handling it like a normal deck. And that's where it's so important to really practice and spread the cards this way, remember what it does. Spread the cards that way, remember what it does. And really just get to know the ins and outs, because that's when it takes it to a whole nother level, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is important to practice. One thing I will say, everything that's on the Mirage deck project is about as close to self-working as you can get. Like, there's nothing in there that's hard. There's no moves at all. There's no slights really to speak of. Maybe one routine, I think, has... has a cull in it potentially, but I think out of like God knows how many routines, 15, 20 I think from memory, there's no moves as such. It's important to practice, Harry's right, because you want to make it look natural so that the audience doesn't suspect or detect that the deck is gaffed in any way, and they won't. And that's the beautiful thing about the Mirage deck, because of how well it handles and how many built-in subtleties there are. But in terms of slights and moves and stuff, you could literally do this if you're a beginner, like if you had no skill with Magic. Like this project, it's not. This project is designed for magicians and pros and amateurs and hobbyists and semi-pros. But this deck itself and the tutorial surrounding it could easily be part of the amazing Magic range because of how easy it is to use.
Another thing I just want to say as well, and right, this is not a dig. I'm bringing Simon Lincoln into it. This is not a dig at all, right? But we've spent a lot of time with Simon recently because we've got a few projects coming out, and we've done like an acting course that's now up on Unlimited, the first lesson. We've got his studio live lecture on there and stuff like that. But Simon is a perfect example of there doesn't need to be sleight of hand in a Magic for it to be so powerful. And that's not a dig at all, right? Because I don't do loads of sleights when I'm out performing. I focus on entertainment. And when we watch him perform, and I mean, Craig, obviously you're like a sleight of hand god anyway, and it works sleight of hand god, right? But you don't have to do sleight of hand to entertain, you know? No. And something like this.
And to make it look really magical.
Yeah. I mean, the routine that Chris done there, I mean, that looks so magical. Yeah. Easy to do.
The thing is as well, and you said this, the deck, the Mirage deck itself was designed so a beginner can use it. What you've done is you've taken that deck and you've created professional standard routines with a beginner's tool. But that's the thing. So you could be an absolute beginner, no sleight of hand. You can use this deck to perform the routines that Craig is teaching. And the fact is, these routines are so strong that they were part of your close-up set, your parlour set, your stage set. So these are effects that blow audiences away. They take no work. All they take is presentation. So you can just hone your presentation. I'll tell you what, shall we take another look at Chris's performance as well, for anyone that joined us later?
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to you guys and we'll start wrapping up. But this is the amazing Chris James performing one of the effects, and this is just one of the effects on the Mirage deck project.
If you were here, you would have me stop where you wanted, and let's say it's the King of Clubs. Completely free choice. I would take that king, bury it in the center like this, but then do the move, bringing it to the top. Next, what we would do is cut it to the table. You can see the king clearly right here. Put everything on top, square it up all nice and neatly, do the move, and now the king is back on top. At this point, you're probably thinking every single card is the King of Clubs, and you would be wrong. The only King of Clubs is this guy that's right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bury it in the center like this and give it a good old-fashioned grandma shuffle. And clearly, guys, as you can see, I'm not counting cards because I can hardly shuffle. I'm not tracking cards. I'm just losing this King of Clubs amongst all 51 other cards not knowing anywhere where it's at. You probably don't believe me, so what we're going to do is use these two guys here. Roll them twice, add it up, and hopefully that king is at that number. So we have 7 here plus 10. That's 17. So I'm going to count down 17 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 right here. If the dice would have rolled one less, it would have been the Jack of Spades, would have been the 5 if it was one more. The dice decided to roll 17, which is the king of clubs. That is Mirage, and that right there is an amazing trick. Check it out now. It's awesome.
Absolutely brilliant.
Killer. Obviously, if this is Chris James, who's in the US store right now. And Chris, you've got Mirage deck in stock now.
Yeah, I have a bunch, man. I'll show you. Hold on.
Sweet.
I got them ready to go. I got packaging ready to go. You guys order them. I mean, this is like out of like 12 or 15. If you guys order them, we'll start sending them. I mean, that's why I'm here. You'll get tracking in your email. I mean, give us time to process the orders, but tomorrow, right? You'll have them processed this
100%.
afternoon, and then we'll get them out tomorrow. And I'll be here Saturday. And if I have to come in on Sunday and pack them and get them for Monday morning, we'll do what we got to do.
Yeah.
So
And
if you order
will
it today,
say
what's that?
that I was going to say the people that are joining us for the live are getting the first dibs on your stock because
Yep.
tomorrow we send our sales email out. That's going to hit
And
everyone.
they will fly.
They'll fly. So by the end of tomorrow, I should think Chris will be out of stock until next week. So if you are watching
Yeah,
from the USA, get your order in tonight.
I totally expect to wake up tomorrow and see a stack of orders like this, just like with Evaporate. And and then we'll have to wait for more. And, you know.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that is bringing us to the end. Guys, if you've got any questions, well, obviously, for Craig, let us know about the effect. Or the project, should I say, not the effect, the project. Everyone is just giving you a lot of love, Craig, honestly.
Oh, man. Thank you so much, everybody.
And we have got... let's have a look on here. Yeah, Steve there, look, he's used the deck for years, but only 2 or 3 tricks. It's amazing what you've done with it.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Rob.
One thing I like about this Mirage and the way you set it up is there's no need to use a normal deck and then switch. Like, you could just do it all with the Mirage deck. You don't need to switch anything. Right? I like that.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm going to hop off. I have a bunch of orders to do from earlier. And Craig, I just want to say, dude, we love you. You're awesome. Like, everything you bring out. I think I was telling Peter or Harry, there hasn't been anybody in Magic history that I haven't been around for that long, but that has accomplished as much as you have with releases and the quality of releases and how you are as a father, a friend. You'll take the shirt off your back for anybody. I've seen you do it time and time again. And I think it's important to say that, man.
Yeah,
we love
100%.
you. I know you hit the head and you let people get you down that don't deserve it. You are king when it comes to releasing Magic. I really believe. I don't think anybody comes close. So I just wanted to say that. Okay.
Yeah.
True stuff.
No, 100%, Chris. 100%. And you know, being a Magic producer and having worked with Craig for about 3 years now, I can honestly say I don't know any creator that puts. I don't want to put any other creators down. I'm not putting them down at all. But I don't know any other creator that puts in as much as Craig does. I.e., whenever Craig comes up with an idea, it's not like, Peter, this is the thing and this is the trick it does. It's, Peter, this is the thing, I've got 10 tricks at the moment, but I'm not going to release it for another year because I want another 20 tricks with it. So, I stand by everything Chris said. You are in fact, you know, you give so much with your stuff, and anyone, you can see all the love that's coming through on the chat as well, with people to get your stuff, because you teach so much, and it doesn't mean everyone's got to learn every effect on the project. You choose the 5 that suit you, and they're the ones you go with.
Can I just say,
you give them options.
Nightshade's got about 40 routines in it. I only do 2, but it's still worth it. It's worth the money because I do the.
But you know what's
silver
interesting? A lot of the time when I bring projects out and there's multiple routines on each one, and I speak to people about it at the conventions or at lectures, everyone's got their own favourite trick.
100%.
It's kind of like somebody will like this, but then somebody else will like this, and somebody else will like this. It's very much a personal thing. So my attitude is, if a particular routine passes my personal quality control, then it's going to go on the project, because I know that there's people out there that are going to do it. I'll be honest, there's some routines that are on the Mirage project. I performed them when I was working them in to make sure they worked, but they don't necessarily fit my persona. I'm not going to do them now. However, I know there's one particular routine in mind that I've got in mind. I know that a very good friend of mine swears by it at every single gig. I never know what people will gravitate to and not gravitate to. So as long as it goes past my personal quality control, and I think it adds to the overall project, then I think it's worth putting it on there.
Yeah, you're giving people the options, and that's what it's all about, is give them the options. If you give them one trick, there's no choice but to do that. But I know, you know, with your coin stuff, and I've said this before, I wasn't a coin guy. It was the Mirage set that really got me excited about coins. But there's 30 effects or something on the Mirage set. There's 5 that I do, and I don't need to do any more. I don't need to learn the 30. And I tell you what, there's one of those tricks that, and I said to you from day one, if I would have approached your stand and you had the Mirage set, the Mirage coin set, and you showed me that one trick, that reverse matrix, and you said, that's all I teach, and it was the same price, and I knew I could do it, I would have bought it just for that one trick. Because I think it's world class. You know, but you've got so many on there that are world class.
Guess what, Craig?
Yeah.
Go on.
We've got our obviously not. Well, it is our very first father and son close-up gig coming soon.
Have you?
How
That's
cool is that?
amazing.
You've been there, done that. All right. This is the first time we're going to do a close-up gig together up London town, and we'll do a video and we'll talk about what routines we're going to perform there and what ones we enjoyed.
So my challenge to you two is to try to come up with a routine that you can do together at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
That'd be good.
whoever the booker is. Do
We'll
something
do
that
that.
bounces the two of you off together.
We'll give it a go. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know for a fact. I'm trying to think now. I can't wait. Isn't it?
Well, I haven't done a gig for like 10 years, so it's going to be fun.
I forced him out. He said, Harry, when you can get a 2-man gig, let me know and I'll do it. And I got on straight away and I said, look, Dad, come on, now's your time. And he went, yeah, love to.
That's amazing.
So we'll both be doing Extractor, probably. Both be doing one of your coin sets, probably.
I'll be doing this.
Yeah. I might even get the
That's
Sengard
amazing.
out. Who knows? But yeah.
So, yeah.
Can't
Yeah, we'll
wait.
let you know.
Well,
how
I
that
tell you
goes.
what you need to do, Pete. What I've been doing a lot recently, your pocket interchange routine. It's killer, man.
I
Oh,
change.
thank you, mate. Yeah. I'm going to have to brush up on that.
I can't wait. How exciting, seriously.
It will be good. It will be good.
You know what? You know what's exciting? You know what I'm going to be doing after I've got off this live? I'm going to be learning a magic trick.
What are you learning?
Oh.
And I think the
I'm
little
excited.
man, Henry, was actually on this live as
He
well.
was.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited to learn that thing.
Honestly, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. People have said, can they come to the gig? How fun. Just as well, I just want to quickly give a few shout outs, then we will leave you all be. Shout outs to Thomas, Paul, Christopher, Sandy, Graham, Philip. I'm actually going to have a look here. Lovely. Yeah, Philip. Thomas, Mick, John, Jamie, Craig, Bob. Bob, I know you're going to be at Magic Live, so looking forward to seeing you, my friend. Ned, Paul, Jeremy, Andrew. Jeremy, unfortunately, was on In It to Win It, and
did he miss out on
he
it?
did miss out on it.
Oh.
But don't worry about it, Jeremy, because enter and you may win it again. Loads of people picking it up, so thank you, everyone. Obviously, these will be sent out first thing in the morning. Timothy, question for you as well, or answer for your question, should I say. He says, do you order through the UK site and it ships from the US? Absolutely. So we've got one website. It means you rack up all your points, all the videos are there, and it just makes it easier for us to navigate everything. But if you're a USA resident, it automatically gets sent from the USA store. So same website, alakazam.co.uk, but it gets sent from the USA store.
Yeah, we did have two websites, but it meant you couldn't access the academies on one and everything
Yeah,
else.
it's a bit awkward.
So now you've got one place to order from, one place for all your videos. Yet Chris will automatically send them out from the
100%.
US.
So excited.
Hey, somebody wants to say hello very quickly to both of you guys.
Hello.
Here
What
he is,
a
the
lad.
legend.
Honestly.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're very well. Are you going to be there Sunday?
He's very disappointed and very mad at me. He's not
No.
going to be there Sunday. I wanted to take him, but we'll be getting back very early in the morning on Monday. And he's got his SATs exams on Monday. And
Oh.
my wife, who's the next head teacher, deputy head teacher, said you can't be bringing Ryland back at 3 o'clock in the morning when he's got an exam at 9 o'clock the next morning. What do you think about that?
I saw his little face as soon as you mentioned exam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy? How old are you now, Ryland?
11.
11. We sold this morning, I'd say 6 or 7 wild cubes in America alone.
Yeah,
Just this morning. And that's your trick at 11 years old. How insane is that?
yeah, that's
In
crazy.
America,
cool.
going all the way. People in America today picked up your trick, Ryland. How cool is that? Seriously.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
You know?
That is really cool.
And
Well,
a little birdie tells me Ryland's going to have another trick coming out soon.
he is. We were hoping to have that out for Blackpool, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But that is coming soon.
Yep.
And one thing to be happy about, it's nearly the summer holidays, so you can come down and play with Buddy.
Absolutely.
Yay!
There you
After
go.
he's finished his tour with Killian.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. How insane. Isn't it? That's mad.
Yeah, that's going to be
You go
amazing.
and practice for SATs.
Right, so we are going to wrap this up. Craig, thank you very much for being a legend. As always,
Thank
mate.
you for having me. As normal, I always say it, I'll say it again. I love my Alakazam. Alakazam, you guys are amazing to deal with. Pete, you are, and Harry, you are such great friends of mine. And here's the thing about Alakazam, if you're watching this, they care. They absolutely care. I've seen it over and over again. It's your customer service and the way that you want to make sure that your customers have the right experience. As somebody who's run a business for a long time, it's so admirable the way that you guys do things. Seriously, it really is.
Thank you
Legend.
so much, mate. Well, I will see you, or we will see you on Sunday.
Yes.
That's
Yes, you
Magic
will.
Circle.
I'll be there with the legend himself, Matt Cluley. So I'll be there, me and Matt.
Good stuff.
Perfect.
Looking forward to seeing you both. So, Craig, thank you so much. And
Yes.
we will see you on Sunday.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this live launch. If anybody has any questions about the Mirage deck project, please let me know, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions. And if you want to argue about the Mirage deck project, start a thread on the cafe, and I'll happily argue on there. So either way, you can get in touch with me. Enjoy the project. I'll see you again soon.
Brilliant.
See you later,
See
Craig.
you later, Craig.
See you later, mate.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this live launch. If it was your first time, I really hope you enjoyed it. We have got another live launch coming up on the 30th of this month.
Yes, we do, and this is a big one.
This is another big one.
We can say, can't we?
Yeah, this is the Extractor E2.
Official re-release.
So, yes, so if you want to join us for that, right here on Facebook and YouTube, it's on the 30th of this month at 7 p.m, same time as this. And I would say try and join us on the evening, because even though it's a re-release and it's the official launch, we haven't got many.
Do you know, I honestly, right, can I just say, serious one here, I'm going to put all the blame on my mother.
Yes.
Mum accidentally made Extractor live the other day.
Yeah.
It was live for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And we sold near on 30.
Yeah.
And it was live for literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Accidentally.
this is not going to be in stock for long. And let me just tell you this. This is now in my top 3 tricks of all time. It may even be my #1 spot. I've heard a lot about the Extractor because I've grown up. We've had a poster in the house, which is now in my house, actually in my front room.
Yep.
From David Blaine saying the Extractor is pure genius. Right, I've heard amazing things about every magician that comes in. When I first joined Alakazam, oh my god, the Extractor is so good. Never even used one myself. Then Blackpool just gone, I used it, and I've been using it at gigs ever since, and it is sublime. It honestly is something else.
Yeah.
It's so good. We've had people come in that are like, I've heard about the Extractor, I don't know whether to get one. They've got one, and literally within a week they've come back and gone, right, I need to get another one, just so I've got a spare.
Yeah.
Also,
actually, Jason Staples, who was on the live, came in the shop yesterday, and he asked me. He said, "I've never seen the Extractor," and I don't know how because Jason's been a customer for years. So I did the card in pocket on him.
oh, it's unbelievable. Also, I just want to say, first of all, what's happening on Sunday is the Magic Circle convention. If you want to know, can anyone go? It's not just for Circle members, is it?
No, I think anyone can.
It must be any. They can't just do it for Circle members. I don't think.
Yeah,
surely.
no, I think anyone can go to the dealers bit. I mean, you can go to the convention. You have to buy a ticket, but I think they might have sold out. But you can check the Magic Circle website. But I think you don't have to go to the convention to go to the dealers.
Right. Also, I just want to say a massive shout out as well to any new Alakazam members. It really means a lot that you guys are trusting us with your business and supplying your magical goodies and things like that. We always try and sort of answer any questions that we can and give honest feedback. You know, if you ask about a trick that we know about maybe your skill level or we know what you like, we'll honestly tell you if it's for you or not. You know, we don't need to get something that you ain't ever going to use.
Yeah.
Which is very, very important. Yes, absolutely you can. So the Mirage deck project, obviously grab this. This comes with a Mirage deck and all the routines, access to them. But once you've done that, you can just buy a normal Mirage deck, which is £7.49 at the moment on our website, and just obviously use it and abuse it.
Yeah. But for a lot of the routines included in here, get yourself a red Mirage. If you're buying spare Mirage decks, get red.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay?
100%. Also, I do just want to say on there, I think it was Robbie. Shout out to Robbie Mayer, I think it was, who just recently discovered Alakazam. Massive shout out to you as well, Robbie. Please spread the word wherever you are to your magic clubs and groups and things like that. Obviously, the more people that know about Alakazam, the more content we can bring you on YouTube, the more awesome routines and videos we can bring you. And if you're not a member of Alakazam Unlimited, please check it out. It is so good. So good.
Really, really is. For $4.99 a month, you get instant access to over 150 videos.
Yeah.
The moment you subscribe.
Kids Magic, Stage, Comedy, Close-Up, Mentalism, Coin Card.
Yep. And there's also that full 2-hour lecture by Simon Litkin. That's all part of the $4.99 fee.
I've been doing that billet routine loads.
Yeah.
Killer.
It's fantastic. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of content going up. We've got new content every single day, including our weekly Alakazam vlog, which is an hour-long TV show for magicians. Based around the
shop. What did
shop.
you just say? I just forgot.
The Alakazam vlog.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, new one's going live tomorrow.
Yeah.
Also, just quickly, Mark there says, when you get a new trick and you need a volunteer, how do you practice it on your own? To be fair, I literally will spread through the deck. I'll talk as if there's spectators there.
100%. Always do that when you're rehearsing.
Yeah, and I'll literally, I'll just go, alright, so I want you to reach in and take out any card. Let's say this one. Obviously, I don't know. I'll turn it over to show whatever, and then I'll just put it back in the deck as normal. So, definitely just remove it from the deck, get it put back in, but just do it yourself. Really,
Yeah.
But talk as if you're performing, because there's nothing worse than you perform sort of silently, and as soon as you have interaction with someone, you kind of freeze because you think, I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah. And you know, when you're practicing routines as well, when you're performing a routine, should I say, a lot of the misdirection happens while you're communicating with the people. So the best way to do it, I found, is to set up your mobile phone, And imagine if this is a trick you're doing one-on-one, imagine yourself speaking to that person.
Yeah.
Actually speak to them, and then watch the video back and see where your eyes are going and see where their eyes should be going.
100%.
So make sure you're looking up at the right moment. Make sure you're turning at the right moment and everything else, so you can see where the misdirection is.
100%.
But it's a really good way to rehearse and practice.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, Robbie. That's lovely to hear. Right. So that's it. We've got to say goodbye.
Yes.
Have yourselves a great evening. Thank you so much for your support. And remember, the 30th, we go live with another live launch. And on Tuesday, we have got the Alakazam live at 2 p.m.
Tomorrow we got the vlog.
Tomorrow we've got the vlog going live on YouTube. And next week, next Thursday evening, I believe, we've got the amazing Mick Wilson coming to Alakazam to give a live academy. Remember, this is not an unlimited, this is an academy, it's a separate thing. If you want to get a ticket, it's an online academy. If you want to get a ticket, grab it off our website now, and you can join us live in your Alakazam account for the academy.
All about cold reading, wicked.
All about cold reading. So we'll leave you with Chris's performance of just one of the effects from the Mirage project. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again right here on Facebook and YouTube.
Cheers, guys.
If you were here, you would have me stop where you wanted, and let's say it's the king of clubs. Completely free choice. I would take that king, bury it in the center like this, but then do the move, bringing it to the top. Next, what we would do is cut it to the table. You can see the king clearly right here. Put everything on top, square it up all nice and neatly, do the move, and now the king is back on top. At this point, you're probably thinking every single card is the king of clubs, and you would be wrong. The only king of clubs is this guy that's right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bury it in the center like this and give it a good old-fashioned grandma shuffle. And clearly, guys, as you can see, I'm not counting cards because I can hardly shuffle. I'm not tracking cards. I'm just losing this king of clubs amongst all 51 other cards, not knowing anywhere where it's at. You probably don't believe me, so what we're going to do is use these two guys here. Roll them twice, add it up, and hopefully that king is at that number. So we have 7 here, plus 10. That's 17. So I'm going to count down 17 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 right here. If the dice would have rolled one less, it would have been the jack of spades, would have been the 5 if it was one more. The dice decided to roll 17, which is the king of clubs. That is Mirage, and that right there is an amazing trick. Check it out now. It's awesome.